Honorable Chancellor of Datta Meghe Institute of Medical Sciences University and President of the 12th Convocation of the University, respected Dattaji Meghe.
Honorable Chief Guest and Dignitary for this 12th Convocation of the prestigious university, my learned esteemed brother and a name to reckon with in the medical profession, not only in this country, but across the globe, Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty, pioneer of a revolution in medical profession, who shall be delivering the convocation address in the august presence of founder of Apollo Group of Hospitals and a learned luminary, Dr. Pratap Reddy, as the guest of honor.
Learned Vice Chancellor of the University, esteemed Dr. Rajiv Borle. Learned Pro Vice Chancellor, esteemed Dr. Lalit Bhushan Wagmare. Learned Dean Faculties of the University, members of the Board of Management, representatives of various authorities and bodies of the university, invitees, parents, and learned graduates. I deem it my privilege to record my heartfelt compliments and congratulations to all the graduates who are entitled for the conferment of their respective degrees and academic distinctions in terms of their labor having borne fruit. It's a landmark event in their respective lives where they stand certified, they stand ornamented with the conferment of this degree at the 12th convocation of this university. Ladies and gentlemen, convocation of a university is a solemn occasion which has its own relevance, which has its own aura, and which has its fragrance all throughout in all the lives of the graduates for all times to come. It's a day of recognition. It's a day of commemoration. It's a day of launch. In terms of the certification, all of you do not just stand in terms of having been certified, but all of you today are launched into the real life situations of pursuing the diligence which has been incorporated in you, of carrying forward the professionalism which has been inbuilt in you, of catering to the cause in terms of the service for you stand created, working out a diligent career for yourself of eminence, of prominence and consequence, and simultaneously extending that healing touch to the suffering multitude whose legitimate expectations are required to be fulfilled. It's in that context I deem it my honor to declare that all of you shall stand launched with this commemoration day. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two or important three things which I'd like to put across. Life has never been a bed of roses. It is always a matter of challenges where you are required to be confronting with. Life is not an accidental proposition. It's not the meager degree and the conferment which is going to shape you. There are many more things which you have to go in for incorporating in your own self. The first parable which I think I need to put across with whatever little experience at my disposal is that, as very rightly and judiciously has been put in by the greatest son of this motherland, Dr. Abdul Kalam, who says, the chiseling of the youth of this country and transforming them into precious human resource is the only way in which Mother India will be put across onto its path of being the super guru and reaching its zenith of glory.
21st century.
He very rightly and aptly puts in that just as 19th century belonged to Britishers, 20th century belonged to United States of America, 21st century shall belong invariably to Mother India. What is that bona fide belief and what is that strength on which he is wanting to make this public declaration? Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it is the universities at the chiseling stations in the form of modern temples where the generations are to be chiseled, shaped, articulated, and put into the service of men, mankind, catering to the cause of motherland, that the supremacy of this country of yours and mine lie. It is that commemorative day which is in the form of 12th Convocation Day. We have chiseled you, we have articulated you for the purposes of you being able to discover your own uniqueness, which stands certified. But now the manifestation of that uniqueness is the entitlement of yours, which you are required to carry out with all sincerity, with all serenity, with focused purpose, harboring ambition, and putting across the best foot forward and absolute diligent efforts to ensure that the same stand actualized one after the another. It is that uniqueness of yours which is your entitlement to which you shall be catering to. It's not only you discovering your uniqueness and going in for manifestation of the same. I am tempted to quote yet another sentence beautifully put across by Oscar Wilde when he says, "Life is a sentence. It needs to be punctuated." What shall be the modality of punctuation of the life of the graduates by themselves? Will it be a comma? It would be unfortunate. Will it be a question mark? Perhaps deplorable. Will it be a full stop? It will be a premature dispensation, and God forbid, it should not turn out to be a form of exclamation lest it becomes ridiculous. What shall be the modality of punctuation of yours? Your entitlement to your own punctuation, in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, makes you to be dispensing your duties, responsibilities in such a manner that your life stands punctuated not by your own self, but people punctuate it not by a comma, not by a question mark, not in terms of an exclamation mark or a semicolon, but it is put into inverted comma. Your journey from today is expected to be heralding for the purposes of invocation of your life being punctuated into an inverted comma. That is your entitlement. This convocation declares that you are entitled now to be pursuing your life in such a manner that you end up in working out invocation of a inverted comma for your own self. This will need a positive and pragmatic attitude for you to be dispensing in life. Life will have challenges. It will have questions. It will have question marks. How exactly you are expected to be answering them? It is only by an attitude, because that attitude alone is a pragmatic solution to all the problems and challenges that you face. It has been very beautifully articulated by Martin Luther King when he says that whenever a problem is posing you, instead of looking at an attitude, can I, which will again be punctuated in the form of a question mark. The best way of solution and salvation would be not a can I, but the transfer of the two words across each other. And instead of can I, which otherwise stands in a question mark, if it is put as I can, the question mark withers out automatically. It is that determination, it is that pursuit, it is that approach, it is that attitude of confronting the challenge headway with an attitude of I can. And it was that attitude of yes, I can, inculcated by Martin Luther King in his historical speech in 1964, ended up in Barack Obama giving a slogan, yes, we can, and the White House resulted in housing a black as the first black president of United States of America in a building hitherto designated as White House. It is that transformation, ladies and gentlemen, that you are heralding upon. I wish all of you a very best. I extend my heartfelt compliments to all the parents who have put in their sweat and labor in inculcating and nourishing their children. And today is the golden day when they can fall back on and they can commemorate this as a historical event in their lives where their children stand certified in such a glorious manner in this convocation. I deem it my pleasure to record my best wishes and compliments and congratulations to all the award winners, all those who have been recognized in terms of conferment of awards, medals, and prizes. They deserve a special mention. This is a commemoration which is being put round their neck. I am so proud to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, my mother, whose son I am, never wore anything round her neck, but invariably, in her necklace which she used to wear, invariably, the only locket which she used to put across was the gold medal which came my way. It is that ornamentation that you have done to your parents, you have done to your teachers, you have done to this university, and you are expected to be doing to this society of yours. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, every learned man has two mothers. One, the biological mother who gives the life, but the second, the alma mater, which makes you, ladies and gentlemen of substance, designated from meager learnership to alumnus. The second mother, alma mater, is required to be associated with. The first mother would always result in your and my sustenance only after chipping off the umbilical cord. And therefore, that entitles you and me to be having the first breath and our own life. But it is the second mother with whom the umbilical cord is expected to be intact lifelong. I only expect that this alma mater of yours, which is conferring you the prestigious conferment on this 12th convocation, with this, your umbilical cord shall always remain intact, so that in terms of the Taittiriyopanishad, you will be really designated as a Dvij, as contemplated therein, having two mothers, the biological one giving the birth, and the alma mater making that birth worthwhile. Blessing all of you on this occasion, complimenting all of you, I deem it my pleasure to wish you all the best for all your endeavors in your lives for all times to come. Thank you. Jai Hind.